Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the local craft beer movement, broadcasting again from the AM 920 The Answer Studios in Atlanta. And I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennison. We are back in the studios today. We've been on the road a lot. We're
I know.
going to be on the road even more, but we're here in the studios having a good time. We're hanging with Brandon Hintz this week. Brandon
Absolutely.
is the owner of Hop Alley Brewpub up in Alpharetta, and also Currahee Brewing in Franklin, North Carolina. Hop Alley was one of the first to break into the now growing Alpharetta beer scene way back in 2013, right, Brandon?
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow.
And Brandon opened Currahee in 2016.
Excellent. Oh, cool. Welcome to the show. Appreciate
Yeah, man, thanks
guys
guys for having me.
making the big trip OTP down here into Atlanta.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
I know it is. Yes, we're both OTPers too.
Especially with the roads right now.
Especially with the
exactly.
roads.
But you don't have to hit
Yeah.
85, so we're okay, or 20, or Buford Highway, or whichever one is going to explode next week. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Isn't there a
Supposedly.
lottery out for what's going to
I
crash
think so.
next?
Just rock paper 400's next. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's just
sinkholes
and
stuff, fires.
you know, and
I saw on my Facebook feed John's Creek just had a sinkhole as well.
awesome.
Another
So there you go.
okay.
That's
So,
that's
we're
key.
falling apart here.
We're all falling apart at the seams. It is a mess, but you know what? That's just an excuse to drink some beer, which is always
Sounds good
key.
to me.
We
Absolutely.
both had a pretty busy week, I think. What did you get into?
So I had just did the rounds last weekend. Went out and I checked out the new Terrapin Tap House at the new Braves Stadium. There, the Fox Brothers Terrapin Tap House. I got to try the Chops Executioner.
Oh, nice.
Aaron,
A lot of
so-
folks have been wanting to try that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a lot actually. It's pretty light. Almost Pilsnerish, I guess, with
Okay.
some hop character to it, and just a little bit of the woodiness from the bat aging there. But perfect baseball beer,
Yeah.
perfect barbecue beer. So that was really nice. Had a good time with that. Went down to Arches for their anniversary. They just celebrated their first anniversary.
Cool. Congratulations.
And we were down there for the grand opening. They've grown a lot.
Yeah.
A lot since then. So
Well,
it was
yeah,
a
when we
really-
were there, they were just about to
Yeah.
open, and they're tiny tanks, but they had a lot of space to grow, and it looks like they
And
finally
they've grown.
did.
They're
Good.
filling it in
Good
there.
for them.
So, and then also went up to see my buddies at Burnt Hickory.
Okay.
Had some of their sour. I'll say this wrong. I know it, but Tauntaun Makute.
I think that's correct, actually. Isn't
Okay.
it like a former terrorist organization from the
something
80s, I
Haitian or
believe?
something?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. I think they were like the Haitian terrorists or something in
Right.
the 80s or something. I don't know.
And then a beer I drank last week that I really, really enjoyed. I'd had it for a little while and just got to pop it open. A Night on Octane, the coffee IPA from Three Taverns, and that's a great coffee beer. Good. And
Definitely.
so is Double Shot. Had
Yeah.
that as well. So
Excellent.
So that was my week, Aaron.
Well, cool. I'll give us a little bit of love to Three Taverns as well. I just, you know what? I was beer shopping, as I want to do every once in a while, and I'm running out of IPAs, which is a sad thing for me, and I just happened across a Night on Ponce, and I was like, you know what? I need some of that in my life, so I had to pick that up, and of course, it's fantastic. One of my favorite IPAs we had, but also had a few other ones. My dad, of course, helped pour at the Classic City Brew Fest, and as part of that, he got to take home some beers that weren't consumed. So we had to help ourselves to a Wise Blood IPA. We talked to the guys at Wild Heaven a little bit earlier. They said they've changed the recipe and kind of tweaked some of the things a little bit. It's fantastic. It drinks really well. A really nice drinking IPA, of course. And then one I hadn't had was a Green Man Wayfarer IPA, which was fantastic with them. And then I actually had to go to Macon. It's a very sad story. No, I love Macon. I do like Macon.
You found some good stuff down there.
And I
though,
did,
right?
absolutely. So it's great. I just went down and I checked out brand new Piedmont Brewing, just opened about a month or two ago, I believe. A really cool space. I took some photos on it. It's in our Instagram account at Beer Guys Radio. You can check that out. But, their beers are solid. Yeah, they had 5 on tap, really nice IPA. And I tell you what, the ESB they had was on point. And I haven't had a really good ESB in quite a while, but that one was fantastic. I was really impressed by that one.
That's a good pub beer.
It's
a good
it
Brewpub
is
beer.
definitely
So, yeah.
really good food. I had a banh mi that was with brisket, and enjoyed.
And
the
they've
heck out of
got arcade, like an old school arcade.
They did.
right?
They had skee ball. They had, I believe it was bocce ball indoors, because then they got the brew tank on the other side of the basement area. But the rest of the basement had a golden tea and some other things too on it. So yeah, if you're in Macon or if you're traveling south, maybe heading down to Florida or something, and need a break for lunch, that is a great place to do it. It's right in downtown Macon. So
Very
good
cool.
stuff. Definitely.
Sounds nice.
Definitely. All right, let's check out our Truckin' Taps beers of the week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Woo-hoo! Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
And Brandon Hintz is here with us, and he created a major faux pas while he was here. But I think we'll have to not hold
We'll
it
give
against
him a
him.
pet. See, Brandon said he's got a new child
Yes.
as of last year, and he was very busy doing daddy duty, wife out of town, so we don't have any Hop Valley beer to drink on this Hop Valley show. But
No,
we
we
do
don't.
have
We do have
beer.
some. We do have beer. Exactly.
But we do have beer, so okay. We started off, Aaron, with Terrapin's Chubby Bunny.
Yep.
Which is really nice. That's their s'more stout.
Exactly.
And it's, if you've had Dino S'mores out there, the flavor is reminiscent of that, but a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
It's a very drinkable stout with really nice flavor.
Yeah,
I
they
like
really did a
that,
nice job
so.
with that. I think nice cool afternoon or nice cool evening, spring evening, that'd be a good place to drink as well. And again, I said I was in Macon. I brought a couple of beers that I have not had. Macon Progress and Macon Love from the Macon Beer Company. So picked up those two. We'll try those out and see how it goes. And Brian Hewitt, of course, is also in the house with us too, and he always brings good beers.
Yes, I do. I try to anyway.
You try
What
to?
you got, Brian? What are we drinking?
So I've got Beer Geek Brunch and Beer Geek Breakfast, I think, are now in cans, and I was down in Florida, so I picked up a couple of cans of those. I've got some.
Those are
great-
both Mickler, right?
Yeah,
the
both
Mickler beers.
Mickler,
Yeah.
which I think are on their way into the state again.
Right.
Well, I think I've got a Funky Buddha in there. I think it's the Nub Smuggler, and I've got a few other random things I picked up. Most of it was
Fill
down
the
in
cooler and
Florida.
head out,
Yeah,
right?
I just like that. That's
Yeah.
great.
I also have that Rogue Grape thing. It's Grape Gorilla or
Grape
something
beer.
like that.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll
I-
ever get to it, but
I want to try it out just
yeah.
out of
yeah.
absolute curiosity there.
I know.
So, yeah.
I know, definitely. So cool. Well, we'll just get into those the rest of the show. But first, let's check out the headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
And lots of stuff going on in the news this week. Of course, Creature Comforts, they're celebrating the 3rd anniversary this weekend. Lots of good stuff there. But they're also releasing a new beer, too, Triangulation. Kind of more of a beer that's going to be not a brewery-only release, but something that's going to be out in the public a little more. So good for them. They're going to have that coming out. Also, a brand new building. I think the Lee and White complex on the West End Perimeter on the West Belt Line is going to be the place to be.
Brand new brewery.
Brand new
right?
brewery. I'm sorry. Yes,
Right.
a brew pub. Is it a brew pub or a brewery?
I believe they're going to be a brew pub.
A brew pub. That's right.
Yeah.
So Banyan Tree.
Right.
They're set up to develop at the Lee and White complex on the West Belt Line. That's going to be the 3rd beer location that they've just opened. Of course, Wild Heaven Monday night opening up second facilities there. So Banyan Tree is going to be there, and Tim Schiavone.
Tim Schiavone. Tim was going to start Standing Pitch. He's now with Banyan Tree there. So
Definitely.
Standing Pitch, I did ask Tim. He said that's not happening. It is now Banyan Tree, but cool location down there, joining a growing beer center.
Definitely. So it's going to be a cool place. And again, really looking to expand. And since SB 85 has been announced and passed, of course, that allow brewers to buy beer, or you can buy beer on site at breweries, really the news of breweries and brew pubs has been exploding.
Sure.
It seems like every week we come up with 2-3 new ones that are
I
in line.
updated the list on our website recently, the breweries in planning for Georgia this year, and did some updates to the ones that have opened. And so far, we've had 9 breweries or brew pubs open this year in Georgia. I know there's 2 more within the next month that are slated to open, and a lot more before the end of the year.
Wow, that's amazing. So, speaking of something that's interesting and amazing, that's we always like to talk about, but beer labels. This is our beer names. Of course, it's hard to find good beer names. Like everyone seems to have taken them, but the Brewers Association has recently tried to put a cap on what they're calling sexist beer names, and I think we all kind of know what that means. We've all been in the bottle shop and kind of seen some of the labels and some of the names of things,
Innuendos and
and
that, so, yeah.
yes, so it's an interesting idea. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm the unpopular opinion on that. I don't care, and it's something that I say. You know what? Don't be just vulgar or obscene.
Yeah.
But there's stuff out there that's offensive. And some of it's really just a harmless innuendo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know there's people that think differently. From the Brewers Association standpoint, I understand that as a professional organization, they wouldn't want to promote something that could be controversial to that. But my opinion is, if you're a brewer and you decide that's what you want to name your beer, go right ahead,
Yeah.
and the consumers can choose whether or not to purchase.
Yeah, and I'm kind of the same light of that. Of course, as something that's kind of blatantly offensive and sexist, if it's a crazy-looking label or something like that, there are some on the shelves that honestly I wouldn't necessarily want in my beer fridge because it's just kind of gross. There's ones that are just not even sexist, but just kind of just gross looking that are out there. That I wouldn't
there's
necessarily
some
want.
that I'm just like, I see a label or a name, and there are some that I say, you know what, I don't want to purchase that.
Yeah.
And that's just it. That's my choice as a consumer.
There
It's
you
their
go.
choice as a brewery to name it what they want.
Exactly.
So,
So
yeah.
you want to give a shout out to our guys in
Yeah,
Houston?
I was going to. So if you want to hear more about this, some of our friends on What's on Tap Radio down in Houston are going to be talking to the BA soon. I don't know the date on this show, but they're going to be on there to talk about this issue. And you can listen to James on What's on Tap Radio, 3 to 5 p.m. at KPRC AM 950. They're also on iHeartRadio.
Yep.
Good guys. We ran into them at GBF, and they know their beer, and they cover the Texas beer scene quite well.
Yeehaw. All right, it's time to take a break. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website, and we'll be back right after this.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guy sent you.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
We are Reformation Brewery, celebrating the reformer in you. Locally crafted within the renowned Etowah watershed of Woodstock, Georgia, Reformation creates yeast-forward brews full of aroma and flavor crafted to last. Come see us in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia, for a tour and tasting of unique brews that you can't find anywhere else. Reformation Brewery, set beer free. ReformationBrewery.com.
Hey, it's Aaron from the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we are talking about the Nest in downtown Kennesaw. Do you smell that? It is the smell of some amazing barbecue, and that's what the Nest brings to you every day. It is the destination for not only some amazing barbecue, but it's one of the best craft beer spots, OTP or ITP. So, if you're hungry for some smoked wings or some fall-off-the-bone ribs, you need to be at the Nest because you're also going to get a bunch of great craft beer. They've got a 2,000-square-foot patio so you can enjoy the outside, sipping on some Georgia brews from Creature Comforts, Jekyll, Red Brick. They've got a ton of beers, including some great beers from around the country as well. So, here you go. Awesome barbecue. 59 taps pouring the best craft beer in Georgia and the world. They've got coffee and wine too, so what else do you want? It's the Nest in historic downtown Kennesaw. On Cherokee Street Northwest, check out the current beer list and menu at thenestkennesaw.com, and we'll see you there.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Visit us at beerguysradio.com. Today we are broadcasting from our studios again.
For once, yeah.
And here at AM 920 The Answer in Buckhead, Atlanta. And we're talking with Brandon Hintz. He's the owner of Hop Alley Brewpub in Alpharetta, as well as Currahee Brewing in Franklin, North Carolina. Brandon, thanks again for joining us.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Now, this is usually the time we crack open one of their beers that they bring with us. But he didn't do that today.
I don't think you're going to get any rest on that.
I don't. I think so. No, that's
so,
you know, we're going to have to go to Alpharetta and try out your stuff.
I'm going to blame my wife on this.
There you go. There you go. That's okay.
I hope she's not listening.
No. I blame my wife too. So
we'll
it's
send
okay.
her. We'll send her a copy of this.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. That's right. So tell us a little bit about your craft beer journey. You kind of started with a home brewing side before you turned quote unquote pro. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah. So it was kind of a funny situation. I would go back to my wife here. My wife's father-in-law, J.K., owns the Wing Cafe down on Roswell Road, 120. So growing up, me and his daughter, who is now my wife, were pretty good friends. And, used to sneak craft beer from his fridge. And I remember my first one was a Guinness. I guess if back then that was...
Well, that's craft beer back then, of course.
Yeah, especially when you were 15. And I remember spitting it out in the sink thinking, what is this? This is awful. So... that's kind of how the journey started, and then we started dating, and we got married. We moved up to Iowa. I was working with the Army as an engineer up there, and there's a brewery right off the base called Great River Brewing Company. So we used to go in there all the time. It was, get off work pretty early.
That's
head
a pretty
in there.
smart market decision to have one brewery
I'll
right
tell you,
across from an Army base, right?
Exactly. So we go in there and then got to know those guys a little bit, helped them out, and the wife for my birthday or something bought me, the homebrew kit. Hey, you're in there, and why don't you start brewing your own thing? So she got me the Weinsteffen, the Hef beer kit.
Okay.
I remember I made it and, didn't control my fermentation temps and made a banana beer, which she loved. Wasn't really my thing. So, I just said, I'm going to do my own thing and started all grain, jumped into it head first, kind of that engineering background, designed a homebrew system, went into it. Started helping the brewery out more and more on my off time, and being from Georgia, she wanted to get back into, come back to see the family. She wasn't a big fan of the negative 20-degree weather up in Iowa.
Nor am I.
Yeah, so actually took a job with Sweetwater as a brewer there. So I was there for a couple years, really, kind of dug in there, figured out a lot what to do, some things what not to do, or at least, for on my side. So, and like you said, back in 2012, we made the decision to open up Hop Alley. We started getting into it, and a funny story was actually Adam Beecham, who's the Creature Comfort guy. I was the brewer, and he was my cellar guy. And I went up to him one day, and I said, hey, man, I just want to let you know I'm going to be leaving here soon. I'm starting up a brew pub. And he goes, man, I've been wanting to tell you this. I've been opening up a brewery. So awesome. We both kind of left at the same time. I think he left a month or two after I did. So he went and opened up Creature Comforts. We opened up Hop Alley back in 2013, and it's been a fun ride ever since, and then we just opened up Currahee last year due to the laws in the state that we couldn't open up or have two entities, which is unfortunate, but, it is what it is. So we're enjoying both of them.
And Currahee is, of course, in North Carolina,
It is, yeah. It's right in Franklin, right on the other side of the border.
I think he's covered all of our questions already.
Yeah, we're done.
So we're done.
Good.
Just
thanks for joining us, Brandon.
Actually,
we
once you
appreciate it,
pour
man.
me another beer, and I'll just sit back and
we'll
listen.
Get just
there you go.
Back, you guys going. So
sounds like a plan.
No, so being a brewer at Sweetwater, we see a lot. We've talked about it. The people that you kind of see the pedigree or what have you of Georgia beer and people there. So how much did that prepare you for starting your own place?
It was interesting when there was a decision to be made whether or not we want to open a production facility or a brew pub. And, with Sweetwater, it's just such a production-heavy facility, right? It was, go in there, brew 20 batches of 420 in a row, brew 10 batches of blue, then go back to 420, where you get burnt out on it. Every once in a while you want to do some other things. And Sweetwater at the time, they're not really now. They're doing more and more one-off stuff. Was very, you had a dank tank or two, an anniversary beer, and your seasonals. There wasn't really anything else. So got kind of burnt out on the production side. So we went ahead and opened the brew pub, which, just the process there, it was great to learn, especially now opening the production facility. Just the canning, everything about it, the bottling. So it was,
right?
It was a really good learning experience. I really appreciated my time there.
That's something that we've talked about before. A lot of people have the passion of, hey, I want to go to work in a brewery.
Right.
I brew and I do this. You hang out with your buddies in the garage and you brew and you drink and you're like, this is super fun. I want to do this for a living. But you get a brewery the size of Sweetwater, or really any brewery, but especially one the size of Sweetwater. That's a production job.
Right.
I mean, that's a manual labor production job.
Yeah,
it's hard work. We talked to Nick Knock recently. They just put in the hatchery. I think it's a 5-barrel system, if I remember correctly, where they do that allows them to do some of that fun stuff that they couldn't, because they've got to keep IPA and 420 and all that coming back out.
Yeah.
So it's,
and Spike was the same way when they opened up the brew lab there
Right.
in a Terrapin brew lab up there. He was like, this is the first time I've ever had a pilot system, because that's all they're doing is brewing Obsecutioner and everything else over and over and over again. So that, he didn't have a chance to kind of grow and expand. So
that's one thing we're real lucky with Currahee too, is that Hop Alley has functioned as our test lab. One thing we do there that I really enjoy is I really don't brew the same beer that much over again. Everyone's got their staples. When we do it, Frankenstrong and Hellfire IPA, but we really like to change it up. Our IPAs, we're always changing up hops, going New Zealand, Australia, and whatever. So it's been a good test batch system for us to figure out what works, what doesn't work for the brewery.
So with that, and that was going to be one of my questions, are the brews similar that you do at Hop Alley and Currahee? Is Hop Alley your testing ground?
Hop Alley is a testing ground for sure. I think right now, with the exception of we have 3 core or year-rounders out right now. The IPA and our Belgian Golden Strong have been beers at Hop Alley. The lager was something a little unique. We were going to make just your kind of standard Hell's lager. And me and Taylor, who's my brewmaster there, Taylor Yates, he's started Burnt Hickory, which we were talking about earlier, and been down at Moon River. Sat around and we were like, how do we do something a little different? So that's one of the few beers that we did tweak that hasn't been a beer out of Hop Alley. Most of all of our seasonals we run through there to make sure it works.
Yeah, I had your milk stout recently. I was at Truck and Tap that we were talking about earlier, so tried it there for the first time. That was excellent. I enjoyed that a lot. Can't stand Taylor Yates, but
I don't know
other than
that guy,
I
don't know.
So
exactly.
it's pretty
He's
good.
a big dude.
So.
I can't
say that too much, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're here with Brandon Hintz, owner of Hop Alley Brewpub and also Currahee Brewing as well. Just tell us a little bit about Alpharetta as a beer scene. Of course, Jekyll, Cherry Street, you guys. But other than that, there hasn't been a lot of movement, really, I'd say, from Alpharetta to the northeast. But recently we've started to see a little bit more interest with the Alpharetta. Barley Garden just opened, of course, the Hop City concept there. We're seeing some breweries opening in the Duluth, Johns Creek area.
Yeah, Roswell's got, I think, 3 coming up, too.
Yeah, so it seems like this area is kind of being filled in a little bit better over the... Is this something you've seen over the past few years?
Yeah, for sure. The one thing we got lucky when we got into Alpharetta was it was still kind of an up-and-coming city, and it really wasn't the giant it is now. So rent was cheap, I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? It's
Not anymore.
Not anymore, no.
So that whole area you're in there, that strip on is that Main Street?
It is Main Street, yep.
That was kind of undeveloped. I know it's been revamped a lot.
Yeah, across the street was a gravel parking lot, a small little city hall, a couple of dilapidated buildings, and now it's, got this gorgeous city hall, and they're building it, putting in residential lofts and more restaurants and retail and stuff like that. I think that's kind of the issue why you don't see a lot of it up there is that it is just it's an affluent area and it's a high rent district. So we got lucky, we got in there, got a nice long contract on cheaper rent. But that's one thing, Jekyll, those guys are out on Marconi there. I believe that's how you pronounce the road.
Yeah.
And they got some killer warehouse space out there, and they're doing a great job of what they're doing. And then obviously, like you said, Cherry Street, who's just right up the road, right on the other side of the Alpharetta border. I love Nick's beer. That's Truck and Tap. If I'm not in Truck and Tap, I'm in Cherry Street.
And you're kind of central where you're located, kind of in between the two there, right?
Yeah. It's Alpharetta. I obviously drink a lot of my beer and drink a lot of my beer, but I really, really enjoy Nick's beers. He does some killer dark beers. That cherry limeade, Berliner Weiss, that's my
the
go-to.
Dame beer
the
they have, that's
Oasis.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them.
Definitely, and we're going to actually be there for their anniversary party coming up.
Absolutely.
So you'll listen to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We'll take a quick break, come back with Tim's Whale of the Week and more with Brandon Hintz of Hop Alley and Currahee. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Aaron with the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we are talking about the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market. So let's picture this. You're getting together with the crew this weekend to just have a good time, but you don't want to go to the grocery store to get your basic craft beers, right? You want to go to the Stout Brothers, and they're going to give you some of the growlers or crowlers of the craft beer that you loved. They got a lot of cans and bottles, too, to choose from. So if you want to spend some time with the things you love, like craft beer from local Georgia brewers, Creature Comforts, Omaha Southern, Arches, Monday Night, Swanee, so much more. They've got that. They've also got Big Green Egg stuff out the wazoo. More stuff than you can really shake a stick at. So if you want to grill this springtime season, well, this is the place to be. They've got fresh local meats, cheeses, and sides, too. So if you like craft beer, you've got to visit the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market in the Smyrna Market Village. It's thestoutbrothers.com, and we will see you there. Tell them that the Beer Guy sent you. Hey, this is Aaron. I want to thank you so much for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We've got some really awesome things that are coming soon that will help us engage with you some more. We're not going to lie to you, though. It takes time, effort, and money to produce this show every week. So if you'd like to be part of the Beer Guys family, we would love your help. Head to patreon.com/beerguys to become a sponsor. We're not going to beg. Okay, maybe just a little bit. But hey, we've got some great swag for those who become a sponsor, and you'll be among the first to know about the great things that are coming to the Beer Guys universe. Again, that's patreon.com, Patreon, patreon.com/Beer Guys, or you can go to beerguysradio.com and click the sponsor link. We thank you for your support, and cheers.
It's Aaron and Tim, the Beer Guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer servers are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out, Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the Beer Guys sent you.
It's just in time for beer drinking season, and we have got the shirt for you. Head to beerguysradio.com/store and get your own exclusive, official Beer Guys Radio t-shirt. That's right. They're soft, they're sexy, and they come in both black and gray for your convenience. Be the envy of your next bottle share and pick up one of these bad boys right now. We've also got some sweet glasses and stickers on sale, too. Head to beerguysradio.com/store to check out our merch. You know you want some.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
There's some good whales on this list today.
Some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I had to kind of dig through, and I got a few.
Okay.
So, Creature Comforts Triangulation. So, It actually released last night, but, if there's some left, get out there, get it. Those are always nice. It's part of the Curious series. It's the first one from the Curious series to get its own name and larger release on this one.
Good.
So hopefully there'll be some around for that.
Yeah,
So,
well, the Curious beers have been very popular, I guess, brewery only and amongst the beer geek crowd. So it'll be nice to see that coming out.
It'll be nice to check it out. So also, Hoppin' Frogs returned to Georgia. Yes. So, not one a lot of people would say are whaley, but their Boris the Crusher is great. The barrel-aged Boris.
Oh, yeah.
And one I hadn't seen before that I saw is in Georgia, Taurus. Have you seen this one, Brian? Taurus?
I don't think so. I think that's new from
triple
Ralph to us.
triple oatmeal. RIS.
Okay, because I've got a Doris in my fridge.
Yes,
which is their Rocky Mountain
Boris. It sounds like a nursery rhyme coming together.
I know it does exactly.
So.
Those were whales back in like 2010.
Yeah,
2015,
they're still fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
They're great. Yeah, and then Scofflaw released their Maniac, which they mentioned to us when we were over at Classic City Brew Fest. They're very low profile on their releases. They just kind of tease and pick at folks on Facebook. That one, I know they had a good amount of bottles. I have not heard if it's sold out, but it actually released quietly last weekend. But that would be one to keep an eye out.
Yeah, and Scofflaw, by the way, they just announced on Facebook that they're going to double their production capacity. So quickly growing, and that'll be good because it's hard to keep their stuff in stock, too. They're
less than a year, and
I know.
Already a big expansion there, so that's awesome.
Definitely. So, Brandon Hintz, owner of Hop Alley in Currahee, is joining us in the studio today. So, thanks for coming back and talking with us and enjoying some beers that we had. During the break, we had a couple from Macon Beer Company. I brought them back from my little trip from Macon Beer. I think the Macon Love, was kind of the winner of the
blonde
two.
Rye with cherries.
Yes,
which I thought was really nice, and I got all the individual characteristics that they mentioned, but I thought they went together well. So, and then we've got Making Progress. Which has a little tartness that I'm not sure if is intended.
Yeah.
But it's not offensive.
No, it's not.
So, still a tasty beer. My favorite of the two, though, was the Making Love.
Yeah, me too. It was good stuff. Yeah. Not just, just like making love. Cue the music. No, I'm sorry. All the guys are kind of looking at me now, and I'm like, okay, I should just stop doing that now.
That's bad company, man.
This is show number 69, right?
Yeah,
that's gotten really weird.
That's gotten a little bit strange. Anyway, let's go ahead and move this through. Let's talk food. We talked a little bit about your beer. Tell us a little bit about the food that you have. Does your chef really kind of work with you to make sure that the beers and food are matching well?
Yeah, definitely. We've had a chef now in there, Chef Micah, for about a year now, and he's slowly becoming a beer guy. It's funny. Obviously beer and food pair, phenomenal together. But he came in, and I don't think he was really expecting to do the food pairings the way that we do. Especially when we do a beer dinner once a month. And that's, I let him go full blown, do whatever you want, go for it. Just make sure that you think it's going to work out well, pair well together. So I remember when we first did it, me and my GM, Ryan, who came from World of Beer and a couple other, he's a big beer guy as well. We had to sit down and kind of coach him through, hey, this probably isn't going to work out too well or whatnot. And then he kind of, hit a stride, and he's really doing well now, But we got some cool things on the menu, stuff you can't find. We carry Haywood's Meat Shop. They're out of Marietta.
Okay.
They're by the wing and
by the
stuff,
wing.
so good stuff. Cheddar Wurst,
bratwurst. We actually have, in my personal favorite, we get their corned beef, which is killer.
I noticed you had corned beef hash on the menu, and that's pretty much my kryptonite right there.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
So if you're a beer drinker, though, you got to come and eat the cheese curds.
We
get them in from Wisconsin,
yes.
man. These things, we make a batter with our house beer. Killer.
I've had your cheese curds, and they're and I had the cup of bacon.
Bacon and peanut butter, man.
Now, something I didn't have that I noticed you didn't bring any of this with you either, Brandon, is the duck poutine.
The poutine, yeah, that's a cult favorite or cult classic over there, man. We get people come in from all over for that guy.
I was gonna say Tim will drive miles for poutine. I
do like good. I actually
went.
I made some at home one time, and I hunted down the duck fat and everything, and did that. Have you ever taken your cheese curds and replaced the fries and made cheese curds poutine?
That's deadly.
Wow.
That and a beer, a big heavy beer.
We'll call it the Tim Poutine.
The RIP, yes.
The beer guy's RIP. I like that.
You go.
Definitely. So now, it almost looks like you got some classic pub fare with this kind of a southern twist in it, but you also throw a little bit of the Midwest in there. So it's kind of fun to have. So now you also own Currahee Brewing. We've mentioned that a couple of times before, and that's up in North Carolina. Recently just started distributing here in Georgia. I think we know the answer to this, but why did you decide to move to North Carolina for this?
Well, unfortunately, due to state laws, you're only allowed to own one tier of the 3-tier system.
Okay.
Even though the Brewpub is one of the few that you own both tiers, the state just decides that you're retail and not a manufacturer. So to open a manufacturing or a production brewery, you have to... you can't do it, unfortunately. So, we try to find a backdoor way. We worked with Taylor Harper, and who I, adored. And
Taylor's awesome.
Yeah, he finally,
great guy.
we worked with him, and he finally was like, yeah, this is just, we're kind of getting nowhere right now. So I said, all right. So we decided to, pack up shop and head across state lines.
Curious why... So you obviously wanted both a brew pub and a production brewery. Why? Because you could have opened another brew pub or bottle shop or what have you. Because like you said, in Georgia, a brew pub is a retailer with a special permit to brew, right?
Right.
Is the way they put it. So did you just want a production brewery? Or?
Yeah, I hate to say this because, man, you have one kitchen, you have one too many.
Right. Sure. Well, this is why I always think we talk about Truck and Tap. I always think that Zach and those guys have a genius idea because they don't deal with the kitchen at all, right?
It was funny when I walked in there for the first time. We sat in there and started looking around and talked to the bartender. I said, what do you guys for food? They said, we have a food truck. I'm like, you guys are allowed to do that? They're like, yeah. I'm like, genius. All I wanted to do was open a beer bar, and then I had to open it with the kitchen. I was like, man, I'll tell you what, Zach, dude, he nailed it. I'm jealous. I really am.
I remember talking to Zach because I've known him for a while, since before he opened Barrel and Barley, about that. And when I heard the concept, I'm like you said, it's so simple.
Right.
It's just really genius. So that the reason you have a brew pub is because I'm assuming, wanted the model of being able to serve your beer.
Right.
So the pub part, the food part, was kind of a necessary evil for what you wanted to
right.
do.
I was fortunate enough. My wife has experience in the restaurant business, so she kind of helped me out. And my father-in-law having his place, we snagged a manager from him to come over and be our GM. So, that's kind of still the way I run it right now. I head all the beer. I have my GM runs the restaurant, and then I have a chef. So you got to know your limitations.
Oh, definitely. It's always hard. I used to work in the restaurant business too, and it's just such a hard thing to manage, I would think, with both a beer and a restaurant program.
Right.
It's good to have somebody in management that you can just deal with the back of the house and not have to worry about the food part and all that kind of stuff. Cool. We're talking to Brandon Hintz, owner of Hop Alley Brewpub and Currahee Brewing as well. You tapped Taylor Yates as your brewmaster in Currahee.
Yep.
Again, we talked to him a little bit before. He was at Burnt Hickory. He was also at Moon River as well down in Savannah. So just stealing Georgia brewers and taking them to North Carolina?
Taking brewers
Absolutely.
to all that. So we actually talked to Taylor when the first growler was sold at a Brewpub in Georgia.
Exactly.
So,
When he was in
That's
Moon
right.
River.
Moon River was
absolutely.
the first.
Sure was.
We were second.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We
So
were first
good
in
stuff.
Atlanta, so.
Very cool.
Yeah, man,
so,
awesome.
So what's he been able to do for you guys up there in Currahee?
You know, being the fact that we still have Hop Alley, I'm mainly up in Franklin, working with Currahee, with the exception of this week, have the daughter. But Taylor's just kind of, you know, it's someone that's been in the industry for a while. You know, I went in there right away, could trust him, knew that he was going to be doing what I wanted him to do, what he knew, what he needed to do. You know, there wasn't a lag period where we had to get trained up. You know, we kind of figured out what works, what doesn't work for each other. And, you know, it's worked out well. You know, he's up there right now, and I think in the morning he's driving our delivery truck down to Northeast Sales and Atlanta Beverage. So he wears a bunch of hats.
Got to do it all, exactly.
Yeah, you know, he'll go out there every once in a while, sell some beer and stuff like that. But it worked out well. I've known Taylor since the Burnt Hickory days, and he found out I was doing this, and I found out he was kind of looking to jump ship to get out of Savannah, so it worked out.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, we want to talk to you a little bit about your beer specifically, but we need to take a quick break. We're with Brandon Hintz, Hop Alley Brewpub. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we will be right back.
Hey, this is Taylor Lamb with Currahee Brewing Company, and you're listening to Beer Guys Radio.
The Beer Guys are back right after this. Hey, it's Aaron, and you know what I hate? When I miss a favorite TV show and forget to DVR it. Don't let this tragic tale happen to you when it comes to Beer Guys Radio. Subscribe to us on demand. It is easy. If you've got iTunes, Stitcher, or any other iOS or Android podcast app, search for us or go to beerguysradio.com, click listen, and you can copy and paste the RSS feed. While you're there, by the way, give us a review. It really helps. That's Beer Guys Radio on demand. Catch it today.
Morgan and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all our beer events and specials, including beer tastings that you won't find anywhere else.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle. Tell them that the Beer Guy sent you.
If you're into craft beer, you need to check out Drink This Beer. It's a podcast from the creators of Beer Guys Radio. Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams talk to some of the best and most important brewers across the country and the world. So if you like to drink beer, pull up a chair and crack open the Drink This Beer podcast, available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's just in time for beer drinking season, and we have got the shirt for you. Head to beerguysradio.com/store and get your own exclusive, official Beer Guys Radio t-shirt. That's right. They're soft, they're sexy, and they come in both black and gray for your convenience. Be the envy of your next bottle share and pick up one of these bad boys right now. We've also got some sweet glasses and stickers on sale, too. Head to beerguysradio.com/store to check out our merch. You know you want some.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I believe you have my stapler.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website. We're also on the socials, as the kids say. Hanging out with Brandon Hintz of Hop Alley and Currahee. Currently drinking not one of their beers, but we're having a Kentucky Breakfast Stout from Founders. I'm not going to give him. I'm going to keep giving him crap on this for not giving us beer. Yeah, beer. So that's it.
What?
But what? You didn't bring beer. It's terrible. It was the first guest. He's the first guest to not bring his own. That's okay.
He's not. He's
That's true.
He's
That's
like
true.
the second, though.
The second, I know. I know.
So that's
you guys are going to get a goodie package in the mail and be like, what the hell?
Exactly.
We're going to open up and something's going to pop out.
Exactly. It's that. Exactly.
Aaron will see, hey, it's from Hop Alley. He must have sent us a boing.
It's a big exactly. That's exactly what it is. No, but let's talk about your beers, too. Again, with Currahee, you just started distribution in Georgia just a little while ago.
Yep.
Tell us about some of the beers that you've got coming down the pike.
So we got 3 year-rounders coming in. One is called Wild Lager, nice little German-style lager with the exception we add some New Zealand hops to it, give it a little different taste to it. Still very easy drinking, very crushable. Second is our Grand IPA, We kind of call it a mid-coast IPA. A lot of hops, but still a nice little malty backbone. Use some German malt, German malt and English malts.
But is it juicy?
It is very juicy.
Okay, there you go. Everyone wants to know. Hazy?
We actually throw oatmeal in the boil. So we get it really,
a little haze. That's good. That'll work.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have our Belgian Golden Strong, 8.2% Franken-Stark. It drinks like it's 5, hides alcohol amazingly well. It's great for the wintertime when you want a high ABV, but it's also nice to drink. Obviously you don't want to crush an 8.2% beer, but
sometimes
some people do. Yeah,
sometimes those Belgians hide it, and it's like you just have 2 or 3, and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, hey, how you doing?
It's kind of like what we like to call the Victory Golden
the Golden Monkey
effect. Yeah. So, but other than that, our seasonals right now, we got our Burning Town, which is a pretty much a Belgian double brewed in the classical sense, except that we add some mosaic hops to it, and our mosaic hops are very kind of fruity, more apricot, stone fruit. Killer. And then our next seasonal coming up is 3 Mile. 3 Mile is our Berliner Weiss with some Citra hop to it. Nice 4%.
Nice.
We don't make it too hot, we don't make it too low on the pH. Just a nice little tartness to it, and the Citra hop just goes perfect with the beer.
I really enjoy having a little bit of dry hop on the Berliners because it cuts down that tartness.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of that big sweet tart, kick you in the teeth type of tartness that you get in some Berliners, and packing a little bit of hop on that kind of backs it off, and I really do enjoy that.
I disagree with your opinion.
I know you do. You
know what I like in my Berliners, though? Throw me some fruit in there, man.
Fruit is good.
Put me some passion fruit, put a raspberry, something like that. I love the fruited Berliners.
Definitely.
For sure.
We talked about the fruit. The fruit, the Berliners and the Gozes are the hot thing right now, and everyone's doing the fruit. We try to figure out how to kind of play off of that fruit without doing the fruit.
Play in the same sandbox with a little different thing.
We'll go play in the corner by ourselves. So,
a nicely fermented Berliner, you can get a nice lemony note in that just from the beer itself.
Sure.
So it's that can be quite nice as well.
Definitely, definitely. And now in Hop Alley too, do you have usually a core beers on tap, or do you rotate them, or what do you?
It's constant. We're always trying to. It's weird. We brew in a 3-beer cycle, so we always got to keep an IPA on of some sort. And right now, we actually have the one that we kind of brew often, which is called Hellfire, and we haven't actually brewed it in about a year. So we're really excited to have that back. But we brew an IPA, a lighter beer, whether it be a Hef, Saison, just something that's easily approachable, and then we brew kind of whatever we want to brew, which can be anything from an RIS to a quad to a triple. I really, we've done so many batches there. I just go to the staff at this point. Hey, what do you guys want to see? What's kind of interesting? What are you seeing that's people are asking for or whatnot? And then, try to figure out something.
Yeah. And then it seems like kind of round out the rest of your beer menu with some guest taps and a lot of bottles and cans as well, too.
Our guest drafts, it's, the funny thing about the guest drafts, and our distributors hate us because it's what we want to drink. It's kind of the beer nerdish style. We always carry Rodenbach, always carry Einger. Try to do big Belgian beers. Something from Wetton or Lee from
Liberator.
Yeah, from Liberator.
Yeah. So we're always trying to carry something unique, and then we have a decent. I would honestly go out and say we probably have the best sour selection outside the perimeter right now.
Interesting.
It's been a little while since I've been over there, but when I did go, I remember thinking the Belgian bottle selection there was fantastic. I used to work up in that area, just up the highway a little bit, and I'd stop in there at Dave's place there, Blind Murphy, when he had it.
Oh yeah,
made it in Hop Alley
Dave
a couple
Sheets.
times. Yeah, good old David Sheets with Naughty Soda and Ironmonger now. So everybody moving on up, but stopping in there wasn't a lot in that area really.
No, there wasn't.
I'll admit, stopping in, I didn't have high expectations. I'm like, a little brew pub thrown here in the corner, but I go in, I'm like. The food was phenomenal. The beer list was great. So, really nice having that over there, especially a few years ago when there just wasn't anything.
No, there was nothing.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, cool. Continued success with Currahee and Hop Alley.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it coming in and spending some time with us here on the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Now, if folks want to get in touch with you guys, what's the best way to do that?
Facebook for sure. We're very responsive. Currahee Brewing Company or Hop Alley Brewpub. We'll get back to you as soon as we can, and we're Currahee, like Aaron was saying, we are we just came into the state, so we're distributing through Northeast Sales and Atlanta Beverage. So if you don't see us, ask your bartender or beer store guy to bring us in, man.
Sounds good.
We'll do.
Definitely.
Thanks, Brandon.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Let's check out the hot list.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what's going on next week. Brought to you by CRL Contracting. We build breweries. CRLcontracting.com.
That's hot.
I know those guys. Got a lot of stuff going on, Tim. Both in Alabama and Georgia. Do you want to kick things off?
Sure, I'll do it. Let's do this, man.
All right,
so,
man.
We're kind of in the middle of festival season right now.
Oh, yes.
Full swing. We're out of a lot of the festivals. There's a lot of stuff going on. So this week, we've been trying to pare the list down a little bit just because there's so much, but I've just got a lot that needs mentioned this week. So, you ready for this?
Okay, let's go.
Tomorrow, Sunday, Creature Comfort's anniversary party.
We'll be there.
Today was day one of their anniversary. Tomorrow's the second. Third anniversary party over at Creature Comfort's. Guaranteed to be good stuff on tap there. So also, tomorrow, Dog's Day out at Dry County. Go up there, take your pups, hang out, have some Dry County beer up there in Kennesaw. On Wednesday, there's a Gate City beer dinner at Mac McGee in Roswell. On Thursday, we've got Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter, where they feature a pint for only $3.14.
Excellent.
Also on Thursday, Taproom Coffee has their third anniversary, and they do a rock, paper, scissors competition for their anniversary.
I'm practicing.
So
Okay, here we go.
Check it out.
Okay.
You'll be ready by then.
I'm good. All right, practicing.
We need the Karate Kid music for that, right?
Exactly.
So then on, Saturday, there's too much to list at all. I mean, it's just an absolute laundry list on Saturday, but some of the things you can expect if you're looking for cosmic debris. Your Pie Perimeter is going to be tapping a keg at noon next Saturday. So mark your calendars for that. The Just Tapped Craft Beer Festival is in Macon. Cherry Street's Beer Fest incoming, which we will be at, having a good time. And Printer's Ale Manufacturing grand opening in Carrollton, which will make 10 breweries and brew pubs open so far this year.
Super, super busy.
In Georgia.
Yes. Also, by the way, we mentioned Gate City, an event there. Just started canning, too. So
That's right.
They're going to be in cans. So check out their stuff. And
I know that they're available at the brewery now, the Copperhead, and I know that the store closest to them sells it, but they'll be making the rounds out there.
Exactly. So congratulations
How
to
about
those
Alabama,
guys.
Aaron? What's going down?
We've got a few things going on. Free the Hops, of course. Awesome guys there in Alabama. They're having their April chapter meeting in Birmingham and Blue Pants Brewery, so go check that out. Also on Tuesday, our friends at Second Self in Atlanta, they're going to have a beer tasting at Hop City, Birmingham. Goodwood Pint Night at Das Stahl Beer House. I just wanted to say Das Stahl Beer House.
Did you say that right?
I hope I did. And please correct me if I screwed that up.
Probably close enough, right?
I'm pretty close. And then again, at the Tipping Point in Montgomery on Wednesday, Monday Night Brewing's going to have a tap takeover there. So check that out. If you got a full list of events, check us out at beerguysradio.com. We've got a calendar with a bunch of stuff going on. We've got a giveaway to give away, too.
We do.
What do we got?
Our winner this week is Brian Colas.
Nice.
Brian, thanks for subscribing to This Week in Georgia Beer. Drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com. We'll get you a very cool swag pack out. And Aaron, if people want to join in the fun, how would they do that?
Well, Tim, it's easy. Just visit beerguysradio.com. Sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. You'll get a weekly newsletter with all the happenings in Georgia Beer. You'll also be entered to win our weekly swag pack. So that is super easy. Coming up next week, this is going to be an interesting show next week, I think.
I think
it will be. We're going to dust off our Chacos. We're going to bathe in patchouli oil. We're going to broadcast from the Sweetwater 420 Fest.
This was a challenging one to schedule.
Definitely.
Because it's so much busy, but we were invited by 30A Radio.
Yep.
They've got a portable Airstream studio.
Yeah, that'd be
and
cool.
We're going to be taping in 30A Radio studio at 420 Fest.
Definitely. So we'll be there and hopefully get some Sweetwater beer and enjoy the all the hippie music that's going on.
Good times, man.
Good. Also, check out our latest episode of the Drink This Beer podcast. We got a lot of great stuff going on, talking to brewers from around the country and around the world. Check it out wherever you get your podcast. And also check us out at beerguysradio.com and on the socials. Don't forget to drink local, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at beerguysradio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. beerguysradio.com.